Once your system has been deployed, you will get a confirmation email from Avid that will then let you access the Avid on-demand portal from your My Products page. This portal will give you an overview of your entire system, including things like your billings for that month and stats on your current usage levels. How much of your Nexus cloud storage have you used? How much data download do you have available for the current period? And how many hours of Media Composer use do you have left? So now let's talk about user creation. You can see there is an admin user by default, but let's go and add some of the other user accounts, including myself. So I'll add Danny, and we can add multiple users at the same time. So let's also go and add Claudia as well. And then once I'm done, just hit submit. And then what you'll see is that it says the users are pending. It's now actually deploying those users across the entire system. That includes Media Composer virtual machines. It also includes the Nexus as well. Now, speaking of Nexus, I said that there is an admin user here by default. This WS admin user actually has the rights to also administer and create workspaces and workspace rights in the Nexus client. So let's take a look at that next. So we will cover how to access a Media Composer in the next video. But whilst I'm waiting for the 2 new users to be deployed, I have actually logged into a Media Composer to show you how we can administer the Nexus workspaces. So I've logged in as the admin user, and you can see I have access to the Nexus Client Manager, just like the same Nexus Client Manager and the same Nexus admin tools that you're used to today if you use Nexus on-premise. So I can go and I can click to access the admin tool, and we get to the admin web page where I'll log in. And then from here, I can start to build out multiple workspaces, which are kind of like virtual hard drives for the different users and maybe different projects I have, and to be able to give certain users access to those different workspaces. So you can see we get an overview of the entire system here. We can see all the activity. And we can also go to the workspaces tab, and this is where we can administer the workspaces. So you can see we have a default workspace. And this is actually currently allocated for the entire amount of the storage group that I have. So the entire 1 terabyte in this system is actually being utilized. So what I'll have to do is go into that workspace and I'll resize that initially. So I'll make that a bit smaller. So we'll make that 500 gigabytes. And that then gives me capacity to start building out new workspaces. So what I can do is I can actually go in and add a second workspace now. So let's go and click the plus sign. And we're going to add a new workspace. So here we get the new workspace, and we can give that a name. I'm just going to call this new workspace. And we can also assign the rights to this workspace and obviously the sizing as well. So I'm going to give that a capacity. So we're going to make that 214 gigs. And then I can go down to the user access and define the rights for the users. So by default, everyone has no access. So now I can go and select some users. So I'll go and select Danny and the Claudia user, which are now finished. This user list reflects the users that we have in the Edit On Demand portal. So if we create new users there, they'll be accessible for me to then go and add rights to at a later stage. You can see I can add read-write access. I can also add read-only access as well. So let's save that, and you can see we have a new workspace. We can get an overview of all the workspaces here. We can add multiple workspaces. We can resize them dynamically up and down on the fly and manage the Nexus just like you may do today with your on-prem system. So back in the portal, we can see that our users are now green and active. We'll talk in a moment about how we share these user credentials with the users we want to access the system. They will also need to download a remote desktop tool in the form of a PC over IP client and also a file transfer host to be able to move media up to the cloud and back down again. The appropriate links to share with your users to get access to these tools are available in the System tab. So the user credentials and the download links can be shared really simply through any tools that your business uses. Could be as simple as an email like I'm doing here, but also things like Instant Messenger or any application you can copy the text to. When I created the users, it actually generates a temporary password. So this is just a one-time use, and when Claudia accesses the system, she'll be able to change that to something more secure. And so with that, I'll hit send, and in the next video, we'll cover how we upload content for editors to start working.